Oh, he beamed hand still on my shoulder. There you are. Had a good sleep? I mumbled incoherently. Oh, the continuation. His smile widened into a grin as I blinked myself awake out of my woozy state. If I didn't know any better, he seemed to enjoy waking me up in the morning, just to see my disgruntled expressions. Blech. Breakfast is ready. Oh my goodness. Wash up and meet me in the kitchen, alright? Give me a second. He took my absent humming in response. Suddenly, a hand reached to ruffle my hair, messing up my bedhead further. Hey! He merely laughed at my indignant squawk before reminding me once more to get up, his steps already setting towards the kitchen. Recovering after a moment, I stared at the wall and pondered to my situation for a second and made my way to the bathroom. It was the third day since I left my house. I'm missing work, missing my cat, missing my sense of direction. I've got to get back to my life. Today. Quietly reminding myself of my goal, I padded to the kitchen to freshen up and join him in the kitchen. Michael was already seated, cutting into some pancakes. His smile was bright as I entered the kitchen, tail flicking closer to my seat as I sat down. A similar stack of mouth-watering pancakes was placed across from him, waiting for me to dig in. I thought I couldn't bring myself to muster an appetite with so many thoughts filling my head. He seemed to notice the look on my face and laughing nervously. You look serious. Something on your mind, Firefly? I picked up my fork, twiddling with it. I'm just worried about getting home. Michael's falter as he lifted a piece to his mouth. Oh, you're still thinking about that? He seemed annoyed, which was a first. Of course. I've been gone for 3 days. People probably think I've gone missing. His gaze lowered, almost grumbling. Is that so bad? What? Yeah, it's bad. Why do you sound like you don't even care? Michael frowned, looking up at me now. Why do you sound like you're desperate to leave? What? It's all you ever think about. Are you not happy here? Is it not enough? I sighed, rubbing my finger over my eyes. Michael, we've gone over this. I've said it once, I'll say it again. You've done so much for me already. I can't keep pretending everything's okay here. I want to go home. I need to go home. He sucked in a deep breath, grunting something indecipherable under his breath. I only wanted to. He seemed to be battling himself before he finally sighed. I'm sorry. You're right. Of course you're right. His tone seemed genuine, even if the hurt in his eyes was clear as day. I'll send you back today. I narrowed my eyes. I mean it this time, I promise. He held his hand over his chest. I swear on my heart. And I don't trust him. My eyes narrowed a tad. Can I really trust his word? Do I have another choice? Will you tell me what happened yesterday at the river? The river? I already told you what happened at the river. His voice sounded strained at the end. So, that's it then? You just gonna send me home? He nodded. Okay. I paused for a moment before adding quickly, thank you. He nodded and went back to eating, watching me inspectingly as he took a timid bite. It was a moment before he swallowed and spoke up again. Can you promise me something? His voice was quiet, for a lack of a better word, vulnerable. What is it? Promise me. It was a second or two before he laughed. Promise me you weren't lying when you said you liked my cooking. I snorted. Are you kidding? Do I look like the kind of person to lie? I'm offended, Michael. He laughed again, light and airy. But if I dared to look closer, I could tell it was fake. He probably didn't want to make our last moments tense and awkward. Least I could do is meet him halfway. Forlorn, we found ourselves walking down another path from Michael's. The route was different today, probably because he didn't have any detours in mind. We walked in silence for a while. The only thing accompanying us was the sounds of nature and our footsteps. I could tell what Michael was thinking. I knew he wasn't the talkative type, unless spoken to, but right now he seemed eerily quiet. His back was tense, his eyes looking nowhere but forward. My voice was itching to say something, anything, but it felt like both of us had some thoughts to digest, despite being easier to just say out loud. Still, the silence was getting unbearable. So, we both halted in our steps at the sound of wrestling. Michael's ears perked in the direction. What was that? His hands already raising to hold his crossbow, defiantly cocking it with an experienced pull of a string until a solid click was heard. Stay quiet. Stay close. He swallowed my heart, picking up speed. He started stalking low towards the source of the noise, his boots barely making a sound compared to my clumsy footsteps. The rustling continued, sounding like a scuffle was occurring between the bushes. Closer, closer, until my ears picked up an unfamiliar high-pitched sound. It sounded like a tiny infant screaming. As morbid as that was, Michael actually relaxed as he recognized it. His steps hastened slightly towards the source, crossbow lowered until he came across what exactly it was that caused the disturbance. A rabbit. Its small, delicate foot snagged in the old rusted trap. Its little body trembling as it breathed faster and shallow, no doubt scared out of its mind. Michael regarded it empathetically before unloading his crossbow, disturbed by the caught rabbit, but at the same time relieved of the absence of threat. Just a rabbit. Sweeping his crossbow behind his back and out of sight, he looked at it for another moment before looking towards me. Let's keep going then. My mouth dropped in shock. And leave that poor thing behind? He raised a brow confused at my bewilderment. Yes? But it's gonna die. His face twisted into confusion. That's genuinely what happens to prey animals, yes? He was so nonchalant about it, I had to keep my emotions in check. We can't do that. Look at it. His expression was understanding, if a little annoyed. I am. Someone left a trap. A rabbit gets caught in it. That's how it works. What do you want me to do? Set it free? Obviously. He was frowning now. I can't. If someone's nearby, they'll suspect how their caught got free. Does that matter? Animals escape traps all the time. The poor thing is suffering. I know you're smarter than this. If it doesn't die today, it'll die tomorrow. To a trap, a fox, to a hunter. It probably won't even survive long with its injured foot if we set it free. You're prolonging the inevitable. Can you put it out of its misery then? He hesitated. Do you really want me to do that? No. But even then, we don't know if anyone's coming back for it. The thing looks so old. He sighed impatiently, looking stubborn at his decision. That's the point of a trap. It's to keep things right where they are until you come back. The way he said it just rubbed me the wrong way. He's being realistic. In a way, his logic makes sense, but still, you could hardly believe how needlessly callous he was being. For someone so sweet with his hens, he was so indifferent about the poor rabbit shaking at her feet. I looked down at it once more, my heart breaking as it started to squeak. Michael. No, you're right. Okay, follow me. Who was I to say what was right and wrong? Maybe he had a point. It was just one small rabbit in the grand scheme of things. We should let it be. Michael led us back to where we came. The struggling, squeaking noise of the rabbit eventually drowned out by the sounds of the forest around us, left alone to its fate. Guilt spread through my chest like an icky mold, but I quickly stifled it. It's just natural. Let it be. Let it be. Michael took the lead, his footing sure and confident. He must have noticed my unsteady gait beside him as he subtly veered towards a clear path I could easily follow. I didn't verbalize. What? Bob? What's this word? Verbalize?
Verbalize.
Verbalize? Oh.
Verbal eyes.
Got it. Oops.
It's basically just to speak.
Yeah.
Or to put something into words.
No, I know. I've never seen it written down, so it confused me for a second. I didn't verbalize it, but I was definitely grateful for that. As much as the forest was growing on me, getting my feet caught in roots and twigs every few steps was tiring after a while. Our steps fell into rhythm next to each other. I peeked at Michael every once in a while, trying to gauge his mood after what happened. Even after spending so much time with him, he was so difficult to read. How could someone both wear their heart on their sleeve yet keep it stitched tight, never letting anyone come too close? I knew he had secrets he wanted to keep close to his chest, but I'd wish he'd just open up to me a little. Silence that hung in the air was making my skin prickle. What's your favorite animal? I was so caught up in my thoughts I didn't even realize I blurted the first thing that came to my mind. Michael regarded me curiously, ear flicking. My favorite animal? He pursed his lips before the thought, his ears perked. Jellyfish. I did a double take. It was one thing for having an answer so readily, but the choice was something else. A jelly? Why jellyfish? I thought it'd be, I don't know, a bird or something. He shrugged. They're pretty to look at least from pictures I've seen. Plus, I kinda relate to them. He said that with zero hesitation. How exactly do you relate to jellyfish? His expression faltered, as if deciding on the right way he could explain his answer. Let's just say I have something in common. With a jellyfish? Well, one jelly. In what way? That they're pretty to look at? A strange noise slipped past his throat. No. You wouldn't get it. Try me. No. I groaned like a dying whale in exasperation, shoulders slumping like I had back problem. He's not going to elaborate anymore, is he? He probably spotted the vein growing in my forehead as he snickered. Relax, Firefly. You're gonna faint on the spot if you think any harder. Yeah, well, it'd be your fault. His smile dropped for a second before his cheeky grin returned. Touché. Oh, it was supposed to be just touch. Touch what? You know, touch. I stared at him, his happy grin shifting into a confusing frown. You know, touch, when it's like saying something you're right. You mean touché. He smiled innocently. Yeah. This man will be the death of me. He laughed at my screwed up grimace, waving a hand hastily. What about you? What's your favorite animal? I do like your chickens. He looks taken aback, clearly not expecting that answer. Really? Yeah. Who wouldn't fall in love with the little darlings? Plus, I haven't seen my cat at all yet, so unless I actually see my cat, I'm not that attached. He seemed pleasant with that answer, his already wide smile softening further. You're right. Who wouldn't fall in love with a little darling? We continued with idle chatter after that. I didn't even know how much time passed as the trees slowly thinned out of the sound of nature muffling the canopy starting to grow scarce. Suddenly I heard a soft yet familiar rumble of a car in the distance. I almost didn't pick up on it, fully immersed in whatever Michael was rambling about. Something about the life cycle of a topsy-turvy door knee or whatever it was called it. Oh, had we really walked that far already? I left Michael's side and rushed forwards. He made a sound of surprise but followed suit. I neared the edge of the forest just as another car drove past. I recognized my street instantly. Breaking into a jog, I almost missed Michael calling for my name as I ran down the road. There, my house was visible from where I stood by the street. I was breathing heavily. By the time Michael approached my side, the man was barely making a sound as I took in sight. Oh, I missed this. I turned back to thank Michael, only to be startled when a blooded stranger took his place. Ah! Sorry. Sorry, people about. I couldn't see anyone around, but I guess I was right to be safe. I guess this was his version of a disguise. If I was to pass him on the street, I don't think I would have bothered to look twice. I shuffled my feet, feeling awkward about my previous apprehension. I might have had my doubts about him, but maybe I was wrong after all. He did get me home despite everything. I mean, I want to say thank you to your face, but I guess I'll settle for this. He chuckled. His chuckle was muffled underneath the scarf. He pulled down so he could speak properly. Did I scare you? I got distracted. Michael's eyes squinted from where I could see them. And I wonder how you don't get lost every 20 steps. Hey! He laughed at my offended tone. You better not go back in there, got it? I'm not always going to be around to find you. Who says I need you around to find me? Almost instantly, his eyes hardened under the sunglasses. I'm serious. Don't go wandering in these woods again. Or I might have to start taking drastic measures just to make sure you stay right where you are. I sputtered indignantly. I wonder where I please. Sure. He looked over my shoulder towards my house. That's where you live, huh? Looks cozy. I wasn't sure if he was being genuine, considering he lived in the woods back in the middle of nowhere. Suddenly I perked up with a thought. A small part of me couldn't help but insisting it was a bad idea, so I was curious not to ask. Do you want to come by? His eyes darted toward me, shocking evident on his face. Me? To your home? I nodded. He froze completely. For a second I thought he stopped breathing. I'd left. Sudden barking and shout startled both of us. My body jerked forward as an arm yanked me close. A soft ruffle of his sunglasses fell from the grass from the sudden motion as he hastily wore the beanie shaken off my head. Oh, it looked like Viva does back from college. He snapped back to the present, releasing my hand quickly. Sorry. I don't think it's a good idea for me to go with you. I don't want to be seen. Even though I didn't fully trust him, I felt disappointed at this rejection. I deflated just a little. But you have your disguise, don't you? He shook his head insistently. I can't risk it. It's better this way. He spoke with a finality that was starting to become familiar. If he wasn't willing, fine. At least I was. Before he could pick up his accessories, I gently grabbed his wrist. I thought I couldn't help but feel like he had one too many secrets to keep. It wouldn't hurt to get him to know him more before figuring it out. Then can I come visit you instead? What? I huffed impatiently. If you won't come to mine, then I'll go to yours. Once again, he was rendered speechless. Why would you ever want to see me again? At this point, I was starting to look and sound peeved. For all his good traits, they constant need to build these walls higher around me and starting to get annoyed. I folded my arms, looking stern. His eyes widened as if in preparation, ears flattened like a cat in the middle of scolding. Michael, can you just accept the fact that maybe I enjoy your company and wouldn't mind more? I'm sorry, nobody's ever, but you wanted to go home so badly. Oh, this man is hopeless. Yes, of course I do, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna forget about you completely. Besides, I promised I'd show you what phones could do, didn't I? Dismissing the fact that there's probably not much I can show when there's no data in the woods, I'm sure he'd be enthralled by what dinky mobile game I had installed at the time. Point was, I just wanted to see him again. So that means I get to see you again? I picked up on the eager tone in his voice, realizing he wished for the same sentiment. Yeah, I want to. His voice warbled for a second. Firefly? He cleared his throat, laughing at himself. You can't imagine how much this means to me. A lot. It means a lot. More than you know. I nodded, a giddy smile creeping onto my own face. How's next weekend? He tilted his head. That's 7 sundowns from now. 5. His smile widened, eyes squinting in absolute delight. Okay. I'll meet you here then. I smiled at him, figuring this was goodbye. It wasn't my best self in the last few hours spent with Michael, being closed off from the moment he held back information. But maybe a simple gesture could make up for it. I will give him a hug. I didn't think twice, spreading my arms and wrapping around him before he could react. Michael froze from head to toe, inhaling sharp and shoulders tense. For a second, I thought I triggered a flight or freeze response. It took a second before he shifted to recuperate, lightly placing his hands onto the small of my back in loose hold, fingertips swaying awkwardly along my spine. He seemed to gain confidence as he wrapped his arms around me properly, a shaking sigh leaving his body as he relaxed. A faint rhythmic rumble emitted from his chest. My eyes widened at the strange feeling. He was purring? I knew I heard that sound before. He was definitely purring. I didn't have time to dwell on it for long. His grip was getting tighter, tighter, tighter. I had to step away to catch my feelings after the squeeze. His arms dropped aside with a blank stare in my direction. Oh, out of the corner of my eye, I could see his hands clenched tightly as holding himself back. He looked up, expecting me to say something first. Instead, he just stared at me. I grew a third eye. I quickly cleared my throat, cheeks starting to burn. Anyways. I gave him one last punch on the shoulder. I felt like punching a sack of grains. I'll see you next weekend. Ah. Ignoring the heat on my face, I looked both ways before jogging across the street. My neighbor in their yard looked up as I approached, their eyes lightening in recognition. Oh. Poppy! Oh my god, I stopped laughing. Their hands fidgeted with the frisbee in their hands as they approached, their ever-loyal Laika following close behind. I was wondering where you've been. I'd brought by to give you some cake over the weekend, but you weren't home, and you didn't answer your phone, and your packages were piling up the door, and I held up my hand with a placating gesture. Vida, I'm fine. At her feet, Laika was dutifully pawing at the elbow to keep them calm. Their mouths stopped midway through another sentence, blinking rapidly. Ah, sorry. They reached down to pat Laika's head, significantly calmer as they asked me again, where were you? Where have you been? I was, visiting a friend. For a digital detox. Off the grid and all that. They blinked, slowly nodding. Oh, that sounds exciting. By the tone of their voice, they did not mean that at all. What about Pixie? Did you manage to find her? My mood instantly dropped. No. That's why I went away in the first place, as you could say. It took a few moments for Vida to understand what I meant. Oh, I'm sorry. It's fine. And they straightened a flash of empathy on their face before they smiled. Well, Laika and I are around for a semester break if you need anything. We should do a movie night. Maybe that'll lift your spirits. I found a really good one I think you'd like. I did some research and it felt right up your alley. Laika and I could take a quick drive to the store so just let us know when you're up for it. I get you your favorite snacks and stuff. Laika gave a happy bark at the familiar word. A fond smile quirked at my lips. Thank you, Vida. I'll bring the orange soda. Their expression lit up happily. Take care. I bid them both goodbye and walked up my driveway. Once I got to my door, I had an urge to turn around one last time. I was surprised to see Michael standing by the forest edge, shadowed by the trees. Our eyes made contact. His own fierce, piercing yellow eyes shined against the shade. I gave him a big wave. It took a moment, but he waved back. Smiling to myself, I unlocked the front door and let myself inside. It was surreal standing in my doorway again. I felt like Alice, who had just woken up at the end of the book, feeling like I dreamed of Wonderland. Tossing my keys in my backpack by the hall carelessly before plugging my phone into the charger. I dreaded playing catch-up with the people who might have tried to reach me during my absence. Work, family, friends. I groaned aloud, flopping onto the living room couch. And, well, at least I had this weekend to look forward to. It's all from day 3 of Mushroom Oasis demo. More updates coming in the future. Ah, that's crazy. That's crazy that we finished it. I did very much like the game, although I had a lot of moments where I was very uncomfortable. Because gaslighting, that's not fun. I'm glad that he didn't turn out to be a complete psycho though, which is great. But thank you everyone for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this new and wonderful experience, as I don't normally speak or read for this long. I recorded this entire game in, I would say, 2 hours and a half and or 3 hours. Yeah, it looks like 2.5. And I did it all one go, so my throat is sore, which means I'm gonna go lay down for a hot minute. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this, and thank you all so much for watching. I shall see you all in the next video. Bye bye!